Hi, everyone, and welcome to the London Community Week podcast, the show where we spotlight the brilliant minds shaping the future of community building across the UK and beyond. I'm your host, as usual, Kateryna Bova, and if you're part of startup, nonprofit, global SaaS company, and you are driven by connection, real impact, and community-first thinking, this space is for you guys. And this episode of the Community Week podcast is made possible by our amazing partners, led by Community, Gainsight, Circle, and Hey Orca. Together, they support their community industry with tools to grow, to engage, and connect and scale. And today with us, amazing speaker, Joanna Moćko-Łazarewicz is a community builder and event strategist with over a decade of experience bringing people together around technology and innovation. Currently leading community and events and Epsilon, she creates spaces both online and offline where data science professionals connect, collaborate, and grow. With background in organizing tech events since 2013, Joanna blends creativity and precision to deliver engaging experiences that spotlight cutting-edge tools like RShiny and foster meaningful industry dialogue. She is passionate about the power of well-crafted events to spark innovation, communities, and inspire action. Joanna, hello. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much for this amazing introduction. I'm so happy to be here and can't wait for our chat.
Yeah, so let's start with you. Tell us more about your current role, your current position, and what kinds of events or kinds of communities you are working right now.
Okay, so as you said, I have over a decade of experience working with tech communities. Most recently, I'm actually wrapping up this engagement at the moment. I've worked for over 3 years for Epsilon, where I supported the data science and open source community around RShiny framework, where I've also organized from the ground up the biggest RShiny conference in the world. So yeah, that's what I've been doing recently.
Yeah. Actually, about your journey, your event journey and community journey, because you have big and huge experience. How did you get started in the event industry and community building? It was something that you planned, or did it happen by chance?
It happened more by a chance. I have to say, I'll be honest about it. I started as event organizer, so I was thinking about events more in the context of organizing it, logistics, making sure it's polished, well done, and that was the root of it all. And then I realized it was actually. Just before the pandemic hit and lots of events were canceled, and I could see that people are missing something else, not the event itself, but the connection that they had through those events and the community that was created around those events. And then I realized that there's more to it than just logistics and programming, and that a lot of happens in between all of it, in between all the whole planning thing. And that's where the value is, and that's where what people need and what people lean to, so then I realized there's more to it, and I need to think differently about it, and that the event planning, it's not the whole thing, that you need to think more about community building and how those events serve your community.
Mm-hmm. Such a great story. Thank you for sharing. I know that working with events is not for everyone. It's for special people, because I have been organizing also a lot of different events, and I know how many different things on the plate you have, and it's super stressful actually. And what motivates you? What inspires you to do your work and every day?
I've been told this a lot, like this, that this is such a hard work, and people wondering, it's so stressful. There's so many unpredicted things that can happen, and why stick to it? So I was also thinking about this, having this over a decade of experience with that. What makes me still passionate about it and loving it despite all of it, that it's difficult about it. And I think that the main thing about it is that you make impact. Like there is something about it that it's very rewarding in a way. You can see that people who were strangers are now collaborators, or you can see people who were afraid to speak up at the meetings becoming successful conference speakers around the world. Like there are so many like little stories that you have through your career that just keep you going, and it makes this work really rewarding. Or just having someone come up to you. That's something that doesn't show up in any dashboard, but you have this one-on-one conversations with people when they say, oh, this was really helpful, or I felt that I belong to this space. I felt safe. Those things really keep you motivated, and it's deeply rewarding.
It's inspiring to hear what keeps people going, what keeps you going, because when you do positive influence to people, especially in your field, in your sphere, especially in events, it's important. And I know that your topic during London Community Week will be also a bit around of this story. So can you share with us your topic, please? What will you be speaking about, and why do you think it's important right now to talk about that?
So that's something that I'm really fond about, is like finding hidden talent within the technical teams, empowering people, and making them realize how powerful sharing knowledge can be, and creating that sharing knowledge culture where every voice, also those silent voices, matter. So I'll be sharing a little bit of that. I don't want to tell you all, because I invite you all to come to London and join me and all these amazing speakers at the conference. But I hope to share some real life stories from my experience, empowering others to become knowledge sharers and public speakers, and some simple strategies to empower others, and how you can make a difference in your community, and how this situation can be a win for all, that where everybody wins, the community wins, there's a personal growth, and also the business impact. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know that you don't want to talk a lot about topic, because let it be small secrets and just go to London. But can you share a key insight, maybe one, or maybe top 3 key insights or takeaways you hope that the audience will leave with after your speech?
Okay, so one thing for sure is that we will learn that behind every technical community that is successful, that grows, there is a community that helps, motivates, uplifts, and where knowledge is shared. And this is something that is not about ego. It's about contributing to the whole community. And that's something that I hope that people who will come to see and listen to my talk will take away with them home, that they can make a real impact that has this ripple effect. One thing can lead to another, and everybody wins at the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So can't wait to hear your insights in London. Also will be London, of course, and so we'll see, and you'll hear your topic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, to remember a bit your journey, a lot of us have a lot of failures and have a lot of proudest moments. And let's talk a bit briefly about your failure moment. What's one mistake that ended up teaching you something important during event journey or community journey?
Sure. I'm happy to actually, because I think this is something that is maybe a common thing, especially for event organizers, that you are so caught up into looking into finding this perfection, being perfectionist when it comes to, polished, well-designed events, that sometimes you might forget about your audience. And I think that happened to me as well. That once I've organized a big conference, online conference that was just full of content, and I was so proud of myself that we had so many speakers, so much useful content, but I forgot about I think I forgot about just asking people, like, what do you actually need? Is it really like about quantity, or is it about like something else? So you always need to be you need to have your eyes open to what others says as well. So because you think that maybe your idea is the best in the world, but it's not about you. It's about your audience. So listen to it, ask questions, build trust, so people share with you what they need, what are their struggles, what are their challenges, and that is something that will set you for a success.
I 100% agree. When we are talking also with other speakers about, they are from different countries, different fields, and we have the same big failure of everyone. And as well, from my side, sometimes we really forget to ask our audience, what guys do you really need?
Yeah.
It's so simple, but because we have a lot of operations, we had a lot of strategy moments, we have a lot of projects, we have a lot of conversation with team, and sometimes you just forget about this so simple thing, but so deep and so helpful for your work and for doing best for your community. Yeah, it's everyone was here, I think, in this field, so it's okay.
I think so. I think it's a common mistake. Even if your intentions are great, are pure, and sometimes it's easy to get lost in this search for
Yeah.
perfection, for metrics, for goals, business goals. That that this core value is lost, I guess I would say.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you I sure that you have a lot of cases, but maybe you have the brightest event or something really big and huge that you most proud of. Actually, it could be something small, but maybe it was something that you are still proud of, something that makes you smile when you remember this situation, this project, this event.
Wow, I have quite a few, and for different reasons. Because sometimes it's not about the scale, it's not about having this big project. It's sometimes about the small things. But I will just follow with the first thoughts in my mind. So I think it's ShinyConf, so the conference I've organized recently. I've organized 4 editions of it, and including the first one. So what I'm really proud about is that we created a space for a niche specialist, because our Shiny is like a niche in a niche. So,
Yeah.
and we really empowered our Shiny developers to share about their work and brag about their work, and created this really big space where people from all over the world could actually learn from each other. It was totally inclusive for people with different backgrounds, coming from accommodating different time zones, people having different experience with our Shiny. And I think that's something that's gonna last. I hope so. I'm pretty proud of that. That I was part of it, creating it.
Yeah, so meaningful and big impact that you've made. It's your big win, and congratulate you with that win. I also wanted to ask you more about trends. I ask everyone here about trends. We're talking a lot about trends in community building and so on, but I wanted to ask you about trends in event industry, because I know that we have a lot of mobile apps, we have a lot of AI agents for helping to do different events, but maybe you also can share some shifts or trends that now you are paying close attention to in the event industry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think there is one answer to that, because what you need to start with is finding what your community, what your audience needs, and not always the trend that is right there at the moment is the answer. Um, Lots of things shifted after we turned into online events, and I still think that we can create a lot of value by having online events. But I also think that people now miss um, smaller, more close communities, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's something that I don't know, maybe you have the same feeling, that because we are in this AI world, we are there is noise everywhere. We are like bombarded with different things, different information, webinars, podcasts, articles. Like it's everywhere. There's a lot of it, and it's sometimes hard to keep focus. I think people will tend to look for smaller, more focused communities again, and smaller gatherings.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That human touch, the human touch, and being close to people, where you feel like you belong, and
Mhm.
you matter. So that's what I'm thinking. That maybe that's something that we'll see more of in the future.
Yeah, I feel your point about doing something smaller, but something, as you mentioned, with human touch. Because even if we have like big brands and they build brand communities around their company, I see the same actual trend that they wanted to have different cohorts, they have different chats, they have different platforms, and they try to connect smaller groups, maybe about interest or about something else, but not to do just huge community for everyone, no, and to do
Mhm.
specific and yeah, with more personalized, with more human touch. Yeah, I agree.
It's hard to have someone's attention now. If we build something, we need to be sure that it's also meaningful to those people, because time is precious, and I think that we need to think about, let's say, each small group individuals, rather than have those big scale metrics on our mind all the time.
Mhm.
Make this impact that we want to make.
Yeah, thank you for so practical tip. We need to remember that. What about go-to tools, methods, or some practices that you recommend to use other event managers or community managers? Maybe you love some or use also during your preparation to some events or working with community.
Okay, I will be old school here, okay? Because I know there's many tools that people use, and that some of them are really great. I use them as well, and I don't think I will maybe share something groundbreaking here. But like thinking about what we were talking about before, that sometimes we forget about those basics. I think one of the tools is actually feedback loop. So don't forget to ask people what they think, not only what is shown in the dashboard and or your post-event report, but also have one-on-ones with people, have this personal chat, look carefully into post-event surveys, look into the chat, what people say, like be aware of this feedback and take it seriously. And if there is, and stay humble. So if something comes up, do not try to hide it and pretend like it never happened, but be open about it, because this will also build trust. Sometimes it's better to just admit to something and than having those PR strategies that was just amazing, and you don't say anything else. I think people appreciate when your brand is honest and humble as well. So that's my advice. Feedback loop. Always think about the feedback and don't forget about it.
Okay, you tell it like really prof event guru because I know that it's so important for every event manager, events guys, just to understand it was okay or no, because you did everything for people, so it's super important. Thank you very much. You mentioned advice about feedback loop, like from the one side. Maybe you have some another advices to community managers, especially for those community managers who are just starting their job, their journey in community building.
Okay, so I think that my advice would be also simple. Don't start with listening. Don't rush into things. Don't make it all about ambitious goal. Make it about people. Listen to them. Get to know their language. Get to know their struggles, their challenges, what they need. This should be your first step. Not having in mind that it's going to be huge and big and flashy and everything else at the beginning. Start with the basics. So that's I think a lot of community work is invisible work. That also applies to the events that you only know how much work goes into it, and it doesn't necessarily show to others like immediately, and the results are sometimes only long-term results, and you need to be really patient about it. So starting with those basics, I think it's very important to keep you grounded.
Awesome and brilliant. Yeah. And Joanna, I actually have the last one question. If you had to describe your vision for the future of communities in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, that's a nice one. I would say empowered, human, and visible. Just to have this, to connect it with what I was saying before about empowering people, making silent voices visible, heard, and human. So even though we all use AI and we love AI and we love automations and it makes our work so much easier, don't forget about the basics. Don't forget about this human touch. So empowered, human, and visible.
Wow. Joanna, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your thoughts, for sharing some things and tips from your backgrounds. I know you have really big story, and I hope that we will see each other in London, of course, and invite everyone who are just watching this podcast to go to London to buy tickets and to meet us, and it will be a nice pleasure to conversate with each other, with our participants. And yeah, thank you very much. It was a big pleasure to hearing you here and see you. Actually,
thanks so much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And yes, come and meet us in London. We will be there. So don't hesitate. If you're still hesitating, do not hesitate. It's going to be amazing. And thank you again, Kateryna. It was a great pleasure to talk to you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.